Hello everyone, with love and respect, you are all cordially welcome back to my YouTube channel. Students, today I will discuss about the main theme of Shakespeare's sonnets or what are the common or central theme by which Shakespeare wrote all his sonnet sequences or what are the writing concept of Shakespeare's sonnets. So students, as we all know, Shakespeare was mainly renowned for his drama. Besides, he also written 154 sonnets. His sonnets gives us his personal life's information or his personal life sketches. So, if we want to know about Shakespeare's personal life, that is why we must be read all his sonnets. Okay. However, students, as in Bengali literature, Rabindranath Tagore is an important character. He was a poet, dramatist, composer. Similarly, here William Shakespeare is also an important character in English literature. As an English literature students, we must study about Shakespeare and his masterpiece work. We can't move our English literature without knowing Shakespeare. So, at first, I would tell you a short biography of Shakespeare. Then I will be discussed about the main theme of Shakespeare's sonnets. Okay, so let's start. William Shakespeare, born on 23rd April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, England, and died 23rd April 1616 in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. He was one of the greatest dramatists in English literature. He is literally known as Bard of Avon. Why he is literally called Bard of Avon? Because his birthplace and death place is same. He born in 23rd April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon in England, and he also died in the same place, Stratford-upon-Avon. So literally, he is known as Bard of Avon, and even he is called the national poet in England. Okay, he belongs to the Elizabethan era or also belongs to the Elizabethan era in English literature. In English literature, Shakespeare is widely well known for his sonnets. He wrote total 154 sonnets previously I tell you. His writing style is unique and created different poetic genre in all over the world. That is why he become famous. Okay. Students, you know that Shakespeare is the most prominent writer in Elizabethan era. His literary working area is so vast that his writing like comedy, tragedies, historical plays and sonnets are now spread all over the world. We can't move on our study without studying or without knowing Shakespeare's masterpiece work. Okay, students, now come to the today's topic. The today's topic is the what are the main theme of Shakespearean sonnets. Students, previously you all read about Petrarchan sonnets or Italian sonnets. There we find a common theme of the sonnets. Similarly, here also we found some common theme. As we know, all the writer that may be Marlowe, maybe Charles Dickens, maybe Ben Jonson, everyone's has their main theme in their writings. Their writing may be different, but still there must have similarities between the previous one. Similarly, here Shakespeare has also the main theme in his sonnets sequences. That's our love is seen as a common theme or common aspect or central motive in Shakespeare's sonnets, as it was in many of the Elizabethan sonnets. Students, you all knows that the poet Shakespeare belongs to the Elizabethan era. In this age, love is domain in central motive in literary work. Even Shakespeare's contemporary writers like John Donne, Edmund Spenser, Sir Philip Sidney are also wrote love sonnets. Okay. In Elizabethan English or literature, the phrase love means friendship. Students, you are very much surprised to know that in Elizabethan time or Elizabethan era, friendship was much prized as love between men and men or men and women. So, in Elizabethan era, the theme of love is common or general motive or central motive in all Shakespeare's sonnets. I hope all of you understood this matter. Students, if we going through Shakespeare's all sonnets one by one, so we find that love is the central motive in his sonnets. For example, sonnet number 32. In sonnet number 32, Shakespeare lucidly uses the phrase lover for friend. It is a common or recognized Elizabethan expresses. Okay, so now come to the sonnet number 130. In the concluding couplet, there we also find the theme of love by the phases of my love. You see the highlighted word my love. So here the poet also uses the phases my love. So through these phases the theme of love is reflects regularly or continuously. Okay, so now come to the sonnet number 116. This sonnet is a unique presentation of Shakespearean themes. This sonnet is the most famous love sonnet. We often call these sonnets as love sonnets. These sonnets deals directly with the single emotion or central motive, that is love. Shakespeare is the master of love because the poet himself asserts the lover or the upcoming generation's lover about love in this sonnet. He defines love in each line various way and even says what is true love or what is not. Here he also explains the lover, the definition of true love or the spiritual love. Okay, through these sonnets, Shakespeare also asserts that true love never decreases or never changes in from our life, and adversity always come continuously in our life, but true love never changes. It is constant, like ever fixed mark, like a pole star. Okay. In the third quatrain, the poet also asserts that time has mighty power to snatches our physical beauty like rosy lips and cheeks, but time cannot snatches our true love or spiritual beauty. So, these sonnets deals directly with the central motive, that is love. Now come to the sonnet number 29. In these sonnets, there we find the phases thy sweet love. Through these phases, thy sweet love also focuses the theme love. Okay. Now come to the sonnet number 73. Shakespeare also here quoted that in this concluding couplet, Shakespeare or the speaker appeals to his friend to love him well, since everything is subject to death or decay, and these lines may also suggest that one should love his life because it is transitory. To conclude this sonnet, the heart of persona desire more love and attention from his friend. Thus, to conclude the first point, I might say that love is the common theme or the central theme of Shakespearean sonnets. Now come to the second point. The second point is Shakespeare's sonnets also focuses on the power of time and how time can wither away or taken away or takes away the beauty. Students, you know that all the sonnet sequence of Shakespeare's has the time sequences and deals with the personification of time. Time here, time seized everything, but Shakespeare asserts that time may be flies away by his swift foot or wither away the beauty of young youth or the physical beauty of the young youth, but this writing or his writing will be constant forever or his writing cannot become old. Okay, so here we find out the phases, the power of time. It means the ravages of time. which means the destruction of human ambitions and human desires. It may be found in nature, maybe in our real life or our day-to-day life, or it can also seen in art. For example, sonnet number 18, from the very first line or from the very opening quatrain, William Shakespeare draws the revenge of time in nature. Okay, so in the first quatrain, the third line is rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. Here you see the word rough winds. So this line itself suggests the natural calamities or disaster. The rough winds means violent storm. By the violent storm, the darling birds of May are destroyed. Here, summer's beauty is short, imperfect, inconstant. Even every beautiful object or every beautiful things loses its beauty and is subject to change by chance or by nature changing course. Okay, all of you remember that even every mortal objects or mortal things is subject to death or change by chance or by nature changing course. Okay, thus through this sonnet Shakespeare inquires into the theme of destruction brought by time, and next the eternal quality of art by which transcend the ravages of time. Now come to the sonnet number 73. Here we also find the personification of time vividly. Okay, so in the very first line to fourth line, Shakespeare affords the power of time by saying that here you see the word yellow leaves. I highlighted all the important words. Here the phrase yellow leaves suggest decay or death. Okay, the speaker draws an image the branches of the leaves, but with time we know that the green leaves become yellow and they fall very soon. Okay, similarly our body nurtures our life. When youth fades to old age, it is time for death. Okay, here the phrase where ruin choirs also reflects destruction, ruin is and also decay. So here the phrase where ruin choirs also the power shows the power of time or the ravages of time. Ruin itself means destruction. Okay, a choir is a part of a church where singers sing prayer. Thus, speaker suggests that when he was young, his life was full of song, but with an old age, he has become like a bare ruin choirs. And once upon a time, the church was full, but now it is bare. Once the church was decorated, but now it is ruined. Similarly, the youth has turned to decay by time. Now come to the sonnet number 65. There we also find the time's power. Here through these sonnets Shakespeare also have the central theme about time. Here the central theme of the sonnet number 65 is that time destroys everything by his swift foot. Time is powerful and also ruthless. Even every mortal object is subject to decay or death or change by chance or by nature's calamities or nature changing course. So through these sonnets, there are some important phases like sad mortality, their power, this rage, action, the wreckful siege of our battering days, but time decays, and his sweep food back, his spoil of beauty. Here all the words, all the phases refers about the times. Here you know students, the spoil of beauty means the destruction or the ruination of beauty and the plundering of beauty. Time will damages the beauty and plunder it and keep it in the coffin of death of our Olivian. So I hope all of you understood this matter. In the second point, Shakespeare's sonnets focuses on time, power of time and how time can wither away our beauty. Okay, students, now come to the third point. The third point is Shakespeare's sonnets also focuses on the shortness of life and fleetingness of beauty, ways to achieve immortality through having children and writing or being written about in poetry. Students, all Shakespeare sonnets has the image of immortality and eternity. Shakespeare, in his sonnets, he finds out the ready-mades or the solution that how his friend or every human being life can be immortalized or eternalized. Okay, the student, in the second point, we already come to know about the transitoriness of life or how time can take away our beauty or and from our life. It display in Shakespearean sonnets or Shakespeare sonnets, but Shakespeare's all sonnets has a magical power or a miracle that is overlap the time, and we know that the time snatches our physical beauty in old age, but time cannot take away our eternal beauty or our spiritual beauty when it being written about in poetry, or by verse or by rhyme. Okay, so there is a magical power or a miracle that immortality can exist through reproduction, children, or written writing, or being written about in poetry. For example, sonnet number 18. In this sonnet, I want to include the third quatrain and the concluding couplet. In this third quatrain and the concluding couplet, the poet asserts that but thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death break thou wanderest in his shade, and when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Through this line, the poet asserts that even every beautiful object loses its beauty and is subject to change by chance or by natural calamities or by nature changing course. But here, the beauty of his friend or of his young youth or of his young youth's friend shall never fade. By quoted that, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. Okay. So here the poet says that or asserts that the beauty of his friend shall never fade, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. Here, death shall never enjoy over the beauty of his friend. Thus, the beauty of his friend will live forever through the eternal lines. Okay, here you see the quoted line, the highlighted line, the eternal lines. Okay. So here the poet says that the beauty of his friend will live forever through the eternal lines of his poetry, and this sonnet gives to his friend, to renew his life twice. Okay. Student, now come to the sonnet number 65. Here we also find the eternity of speaker's love. The speaker here utters that, "O none, unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright." Okay, so there is also an expression that means eternity or immortality. Okay. In sonnet number 17, the poet concludes with, "You should live twice in it and in my rhyme." Okay, and in sonnet number 19, the poet says that, "My love shall in my verse ever live young." Okay, so to conclude this point, I assert that in every sonnet sequence of Shakespeare expresses the or immortality or immortalize the beauty of his friend through his verse or his rhyme or by his sonnets or by this poem. Whenever the poem will be read, the beauty of his male friend or his young youth friends will be revived and will be glorified. So the theme of shortness of life and fleetingness of beauty, ways to achieve immortality, is very common in Shakespeare's sonnets. Students, now come to the fourth point. The fourth point is in many of his sonnet are written to the young man, and Shakespeare's the narrator is demonstrating the theme of the importance of reproduction, and he even asserts that the value of eternalizing beauty through reproduction and by passing it down through generations. To elaborate or explain this point, I want to say that some of Shakespeare's sonnets, like sonnet number 1 to sonnet number 17, has the images or the theme of reproduction. It means through having children. Okay. So sonnet number 1 and sonnet number 1 to sonnet number 17 is called the procreation sonnet. Okay, procreation sonnet tells one motif: life is mortal, but it can be immortalized by birds or by children. Okay, in procreation sonnet, sonnet number 1 to sonnet number 17, the poet the Shakespeare urged to the young youth to marry and being children. So the children will be a Xerox copy of the young youth who will live on through his child. For example, sonnet number 1, there is a quoted line or important line. This line suggests or asserts that the theme of procreation, and here says that when parent dies, the child might continue its beauty. Now come to the sonnet number 2. In the third and the concluding couplet, we can see that the images of reproduction or procreation is vividly clear and lucid. Here the speaker, or here the poet Shakespeare says that this fair child of mine shall some of my count, and his beauty by succession thine. And there is a concluding couplet. This concluding couplet asserts to the solution to the young youth's problem to have a child. The youth's beauty will renew by young youth's successor. Okay. If I going to the sonnet number 17, there is a concluding line, or there is a line. Through this line, the poet wants to explain that to marry a woman and being some child, so that young youths may live forever, or may live twice forever through his child, and also by the verse. Students, now come to the last point. The last point is through his sonnet, Shakespeare also emphasized lust and infidelity, and his sonnets also focuses on physical beauty rather than intellectual beauty. Okay, so here we find that the phases lust. So the phases lust means physical attraction. It is related to the physical or especially sexual appetites, which is transitory, or it can be relating to the body or flesh, which is material, not spiritual. Okay, however, there is a some away also have the carnal or sexual desire. Carnal is a desire for physical contact or physical attraction that is driven by lust. For example, in Shakespeare's sonnet number 129, these sonnets all has the theme of lust and infidelity. Students, sonnet number 129 is a unique presentation of Shakespearean theme. Unlike other sonnets, it deals directly with one single emotion or one single motive, that is lust and uncontrollable infatuation for sexual fulfillment. Okay. For that reason, Bernard Shaw considered it the most merciless passage in English literature. Okay, if I going through the text, you can see from the very first line, the first two lines, the expense of spirit in a waste of shame is lust in action. This quotation introduced the motive of the poem. Very first line. The first line introduces us the motive of the poem. This is the definition of lust. The speaker here comments that last in action is only a waste of energy, and it does not bring any fulfillment of mind, but only gives shame and regret. Yet, the very paradox occurs in the next line, as the speaker comments that till action last is perjured, murderous, bloody, full of blame, savage, extreme, rude, cruel, not to trust, enjoyed no sooner but despised dread. So the series of adjectives, you see there is a series of various types of adjectives. This series of adjectives intensify or asserts the power of lust over the human being. Okay, the paradox continues as the speaker shocks us again by telling the last is regretful. Okay, it is enjoyed no sooner but past reason hated. You see the word hunted and hated. These two words carries the opposite emotions or opposite expression. One is attraction. The first hunted it means attraction, and the hated other is means repulsion. Okay, so the poem again turns paradoxically when contrary situations are revealed. There is a quotation, or there is a line: a bliss in proof and proved a very woe before a joy proposed behind a dream. So again the word proof and proved suggests the proposed and real state of lustful action. The bliss here, the word bliss turns to yo, resulting in the worst of shame. The speaker here confesses that lust can give us temporary joy, but real love remain a dream or unfulfilled. Okay, this is a clear proof that lust can satisfy the body, but not the soul. This sonnet justly condemns the physical love, which is devoid of spirituality. The paradox in the words and the ideas reveal difference between the true love and the temporary lust. This sonnet, in a different way, echoes as Shakespeare's own saying in sonnet number 116. Here, the poet utters that love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but wears it out even to the exit of doom. Okay. So, sonnet number 153, sonnet number 154, sonnet number 16, sonnet number 17, sonnet number 147, and sonnet number 116 and others is similar by the theme of the last. Okay. So this is all about the main theme of Shakespearean sonnets. I hope all of you understood very well the main theme of Shakespearean sonnets, and I also hope that this discussion will be very much informative and helpful and also useful all of you. So students, if anyone want to see this discussion in Bengali languages, he or she please either press the I button or go to the description box or check the description box. It may be also helpful all of you. Thank you.